Taeho ran through the mountain forest. The morning air filled his lungs. This was just another training day for the Special Forces soldier. He jumped over fallen trees and moved like a shadow between the tall pines. 20 years in South Korea's elite military units had made his body strong and his mind sharp. A strange light flashed above the trees. Taeho stopped and looked up. The light was not the sun. It was not a helicopter. It moved in ways that nothing on earth should move. "What is that?" he whispered to himself. His hand reached for the radio at his belt, but before he could call his team, the light grew brighter, much brighter. Then, darkness. When Taeho opened his eyes, his head hurt badly. He tried to move his arms, but they were held down by metal bands. He was lying on a cold table in a room with walls that glowed with a soft blue light. The air smelled strange, like nothing he had ever smelled before. "The human is awake," said a deep voice. Taeho turned his head and fought back a scream. Standing next to him was a tall creature with gray skin. It had 4 eyes, 2 large ones and 2 smaller ones below them. Its mouth was wide and filled with small, sharp teeth. "Good. Begin processing," said another voice. A second creature moved into view. This one wore some kind of metal suit with lights on it. It held up a small device that made a humming sound when pointed at Taeho's head. "This one has strong muscles. Good brain activity. Better than the last humans we took," said the creature in the suit. Taeho tried to speak, but his throat was dry. After a few tries, he managed to ask, "Who are you? Where am I?" The creatures looked at each other. Then the one in the suit pressed something on its arm. A small pain hit Taeho's neck. "You can understand us now," the creature said. "The translator will help. I am Cruel of the Vorax Empire. You are aboard our collection ship." "Collection ship?" Taeho asked, his soldier's mind already working to understand the situation. "Yes, we collect fighting specimens from across the galaxy. You are our newest addition." Kroll's 4 eyes blinked one after another. "Humans are not well known in the fighting rings yet. You will be. Interesting entertainment." Taeho pulled against the metal bands. "I am not entertainment. I am a soldier of South Korea. You have no right to take me." The 2 Vorax made strange sounds. Taeho realized they were laughing. "Rights?" Cruel said. "Primitive species always talk about rights. The only right in the galaxy is strength. The strong take. The weak are taken." The other Vorax pressed something on the wall, and the table Taeho was on began to move. It floated through an opening in the wall into a larger space. Taeho turned his head and saw hundreds of cells lining the walls of a massive room. Inside each cell were creatures. Some looked almost human, others were completely alien. "Welcome to the holding area," Cruel said. "You will join the other fighting specimens here. If you win your matches in the Grand Arena, you will earn better food and better quarters. If you lose," Cruel made that strange laughing sound again. "Well, most humans don't last long." The table stopped in front of an empty cell. The metal bands released, and before Taeho could move, he was pushed inside by an invisible force. A clear wall closed in front of him. From the cell across from his, a large creature with red scales and 6 limbs looked at him and made a sound like rocks being crushed. "Yes," Cruel said to the red creature. "It is just a human. They are soft and weak, but they sometimes put up an amusing fight before they die." As the Vorax walked away, Taeho stood up in his cell. His face showed no emotion, but inside, his mind was already planning. They thought humans were weak. They thought he would be easy entertainment. They would learn how wrong they were. Taeho spent 3 days in his cell. He did push-ups, sit-ups, and stretches to keep his body strong. He watched the other creatures in their cells. Some paced like animals. Others sat still like stones. Taeho studied them all. On the 4th day, the clear wall of his cell opened. A Vorax guard pointed a stick-like weapon at him. "Move, human." It's time for your processing. Tai-Ho stepped out and followed the guard through long hallways. They passed more cells with strange beings inside. Some called out in languages Tai-Ho could not understand, even with the translator in his neck. They entered a large room with bright lights. There, Tai-Ho saw something that made him stop. A human woman. She had black hair pulled back and wore a gray uniform with strange symbols on it. "This is your caretaker," the guard said. "She will explain your duties." The guard pushed Tai-Ho forward and left. The woman looked at Tai-Ho with dark eyes. "I am Jinnah," she said. Her voice had an accent Tai-Ho recognized as Korean, but something about it was different. "You are Korean?" he asked. She shook her head. "My grandparents were taken from Earth many years ago. I was born here, on this ship. I have never seen Earth." Tai-Ho tried to hide his shock. "How many humans are here?" "Not many. Perhaps 50 on this ship. We are rare. Most die in the fights." Jinnah walked to a table and picked up a small device. "This will go on your wrist. It tracks you and shows your rank." She placed a metal band on Tai-Ho's wrist. It tightened itself and glowed with a red light. "Red is the lowest rank," Jinnah explained. "If you win fights, you move up to yellow, then green, blue, and purple. The highest fighters are gold rank." "And what happens if I reach gold?" Tai-Ho asked. Jinnah's face showed no emotion. "No human has ever reached gold. But the rules say a gold fighter can ask for freedom after 10 years of service." Tai-Ho looked around the room. There were weapons on the walls and screens showing different areas of what looked like fighting rings. "Where are we going?" he asked. "We are traveling to Vox Prime. It is the home of the Grand Arena. We will arrive in 6 months." Jinnah touched a screen on the wall, and it showed a map of stars. "We are here, in deep space. No planets nearby. No way to escape." Tai-Ho watched her carefully. "You said we when talking about humans. Can you help me?" Jinnah lowered her voice. "I help humans when I can. But I must be careful. The Voraks watch me. I have family here I must protect. How do the fights work?" Jinnah touched the screen again, and it showed a large arena with cheering crowds. "You fight other low-rank fighters first. If you win, you get better food and a better cell. Lose, and you may die. The crowds bet on fights. The Voraks make much money from this. What do they expect from humans?" "Entertainment," Jinnah said flatly. "They think humans are weak but funny to watch. We try hard but die quickly. They laugh at our efforts." Tai-Ho's eyes narrowed. "I won't die quickly." Jinnah looked at him with doubt. "You will face creatures 3 times your size and strength. Some have poison claws or can spit acid. Others have tough skin that weapons cannot cut." "I was Special Forces," Tai-Ho said. "For 20 years, I trained to fight enemies bigger and stronger than me. This is different." "No," Tai-Ho said. "Fighting is fighting. The bigger they are, the harder they fall." Jinnah almost smiled. "Your first match is tomorrow. I will bring you to training now. You can see the weapons you may use." As they walked to the training area, Tai-Ho watched everything. The doors, the guards, the other fighters. In his mind, he was making notes of all he saw. The aliens thought humans were just entertainment. Tai-Ho would show them how wrong they were. The arena was bigger than Tai-Ho had imagined. Thousands of aliens sat in rows that went up and up until they disappeared in the darkness. They made noises, some like laughs, others like roars. All of them were looking at Tai-Ho. "They're excited to see a human fight," Jinnah said. She stood beside him in a small room under the arena. "They think it will be funny." Tai-Ho checked the simple armor they had given him. It covered his chest, but left his arms free. In his hand, he held a short blade, not much better than a large knife. "Tell me about my enemy again," he said. Jinnah pointed to a screen on the wall. It showed a tall green creature with 4 arms and a long tail. Its skin looked like the scales of a snake. A seedy fighter. They are fast and have great strength in all four arms. Their tail can knock you down if you're not careful. Tai-Ho nodded. Weaknesses. Their joints. The knees bend backward, making them easy to unbalance if you hit them from the side. And their neck is sensitive. A loud horn sounded. Jinnah looked worried. Good luck, she said. Try to stay alive. Tai-Ho stepped through a door that opened into the arena. The ground was covered with sand. Across from him, another door opened, and the city fighter stepped out. It was even bigger in person, at least 7 feet tall. The crowd got louder, and Tai-Ho could hear their translator devices making their words clear. Look at the tiny human. How long will this one last? 2 minutes. I bet my credits, he cries before he dies. The seedy looked at Tai-Ho and made a sound like stones grinding together. The translator in Tai-Ho's neck made the meaning clear. A human. They send me a soft, pink worm to fight. The seedy raised all 4 arms to the crowd. This will be quick but funny. The aliens in the stands laughed and cheered. A voice boomed through the arena. Fighters, prepare. The seedy took a fighting stance, its 4 arms each holding a blade. Tai-Ho stood still, his single knife looking small and weak in comparison. Begin. The seedy rushed forward with surprising speed. It swung 2 blades at once, aiming for Tai-Ho's head and chest. Most fighters would try to block or jump back. Tai-Ho did neither. He stepped forward, inside the seedy's reach. The move was so unexpected that the alien's blades missed, cutting only air. Before the seedy could react, Tai-Ho's knife found the soft spot under its arm that Jinnah had told him about. The seedy roared in pain and spun around, its tail sweeping toward Tai-Ho's legs. But Tai-Ho was already moving. He jumped over the tail and landed on the seedy's back, his knife finding the sensitive place where neck met shoulder. The crowd went silent. The seedy tried to grab Tai-Ho with its lower arms, but Tai-Ho slid down its back, cutting as he went. When he hit the ground, he rolled to the side and came up behind the alien's legs. One quick strike to the back of the knee, exactly where Jinnah had said the joint was weak, and the seedy fell to one knee. The silence in the arena was complete now. No alien made a sound. Tai-Ho moved like water around the larger fighter. He didn't try to match strength with strength. Instead, he used the seedy's size against it. Every time the alien swung, Tai-Ho wasn't there. And every time Tai-Ho struck, his blade found a vulnerable spot. Finally, the seedy fell to both knees, green blood dripping from a dozen small cuts. None were fatal, but together they had weakened the alien. How? The seedy gasped. You are human. You are weak. Tai-Ho stood in front of his fallen opponent. Humans are not weak, he said, loud enough for the translator to carry his words to the crowd. We are survivors. He placed his blade against the seedy's neck, but did not cut. Instead, he looked up at the alien audience. For a moment, nobody moved. Then, slowly, scattered sounds of clapping and stomping began. It grew louder until the whole arena shook with noise. They weren't laughing anymore. Word spread fast about the human who had defeated a city fighter. When Tai-Ho returned to his cell, it was no longer a small red-level box. Now he had a yellow-level room with a real bed and his own water supply. You surprised them, Jinnah said when she came to check on him the next day. No human has ever beaten a seedy on their first fight. Tai-Ho sat on his bed, cleaning the small cuts he had received. The seedy was strong but slow to think. It relied too much on its size. Jinnah handed him a small tube. This will help your cuts heal faster. She looked at him with new eyes. 3 more fighters have asked to face you. They all want to be the one to beat the human who took down the seedy. Good, Tai-Ho said. I need more fights to learn about the different aliens. You're not afraid. I am always afraid, Tai-Ho said. Fear keeps you sharp, but I don't let fear control me. Over the next few weeks, Taiho fought 5 more times. Each fight was harder than the last. He faced a Doran with skin like stone, a quick Malax with blades for hands, and a Garn that could spit burning acid. He won each time. After his 7th win, something new happened. A tall, blue-skinned alien with long, thin limbs came to his room. This alien wore shiny clothes and many rings on its long fingers. "I am San," the blue alien said. "I am what you would call a fight promoter." Jinnah stood nearby, watching carefully. "San owns many fighters," she explained. "He is very powerful." Zan walked around Taiho, looking at him from all sides. "You are not big for a human, yet you win." "How?" "I was a soldier," Taiho said. "For 20 years, I trained to fight enemies who were bigger and stronger than me." "Fascinating," San said. "The crowds love you now. They call you the human blade because of how you use your knife like it is part of your arm." San smiled, showing small, pointed teeth. "I want to help you rise faster in the ranks." Taiho looked at Jinnah, who gave a small nod. "What do you offer?" Taiho asked. "Better training, better weapons, and better information about your opponents." San spread his long fingers. "In return, I take 30% of your winnings." 20%, Taiho said. San laughed. "The human can bargain too." 25, and I will also give you data on the 15 most common fighter species." Taiho nodded. "Deal." After San left, Jinnah moved closer. "Be careful with San. He helps fighters who make him money, but he forgets those who lose." "I won't lose," Taiho said. He sat down at the small table in his room. "Tell me more about your family." Jinnah looked surprised by the question. "Why do you ask?" "You said you help humans to protect your family. I want to understand." Jinnah's face softened. "My parents are dead, but I have a younger brother, Junho. He works in the lower levels of the ship, fixing things. If I do my job well, they let him have safe work. If I make mistakes..." She didn't finish the sentence. Taiho understood. The Vorax controlled humans through each other. "When I was a child," Jinnah continued, "I saw videos of Earth. Green fields, blue skies. Is it really as beautiful as it looks?" "Yes," Taiho said. "And one day, you will see it." Jinnah shook her head. "Don't say such things. The walls have ears." "I make no promises," Taiho said. "But I do have a plan. Each fight teaches me something new. Each win gives me more freedom to move around the ship." "What are you planning?" Jinnah whispered. "First, I need to rise in rank," Taiho said. "Then, I need to meet other humans on the ship, and I need to learn everything about how this ship works." "Why?" Taiho's eyes were hard and determined. "Because no matter how far from Earth they take us, one thing never changes about humans." "What's that?" Jinnah asked. "We always find a way home." 3 months passed. Taiho won 15 fights in a row. His room was now blue level, large and comfortable. He had better food, better weapons, and more freedom to walk around parts of the ship. But his success caused problems too. "There is trouble," Jinnah said one morning when she brought Taiho his daily meal. Her face was worried. "What kind of trouble?" Taiho asked. "He was doing push-ups, keeping his body strong. A champion fighter has asked to fight you. His name is Dox. He is a Krivet." Taiho stood up and wiped sweat from his face. "What is a Krivet?" Jinnah touched a small screen on her wrist. The wall of Taiho's room changed to show a large gray-skinned alien. It stood on 2 thick legs. Its arms were long and ended in hands with sharp claws. Its face had no nose, just a wide mouth full of pointed teeth and small black eyes. "Krivets are born fighters," Jinnah said. "Their planet is one of the harshest in the galaxy. They have natural armor on their skin that can stop most blades. Their claws contain a poison that causes great pain." Taiho studied the image carefully. "Why does this Dox want to fight me?" I am not high enough in rank to face champions. That's the problem. Doc says you make a mockery of true warriors. He says humans are weak creatures who should know their place. Jinnah's voice got quieter. He has killed every opponent for the past 3 years. No one has even wounded him. Tai-Ho was silent for a moment. The arena owners will allow this fight. Jinnah nodded. They see money in it. The human who keeps winning against a champion that no one can touch. The betting will be very heavy. When? 5 days from now. Tai-Ho nodded. I need to see videos of all these fights. Later that day, San came to Tai-Ho's room. The blue alien looked less happy than usual. This is bad business, Tan said. Dox is not just any champion. He is TE champion. No one has lasted more than 3 minutes against him in 2 years. Show me all his fights, Tai-Ho said. San shook his head. You should refuse this fight. Say you are injured. In a few months, when you are higher rank, maybe you would have a small chance. I will not refuse. San made a strange sound, like air escaping from a balloon. Then I will bring you the fight videos. But I think you should know that I have already placed my bets. Against you. After San left, Tai-Ho spent hours watching Doc's fight. The Krivet was incredibly fast for his size. He seemed to feel no pain. His fighting style was direct and brutal. He simply overpowered his opponents with speed and strength. But Tai-Ho noticed something interesting. In one old fight, an opponent had struck Dox in the back of his left knee. For just a second, Dox had shown pain. It was the only time in all the videos that the champion had shown any weakness. On the day of the fight, Jinnah came early to Tai-Ho's room. The whole ship is talking about this fight, she said. No one thinks you can win. She paused. Tai-Ho, if you lose this fight, you will die. Dox does not let opponents live. I know. Then why fight? Tai-Ho looked at her. Sometimes to move forward, you must take big risks. He picked up his fighting knife and tested its edge. I have a plan. Jinnah touched his arm. There is something else you should know. The Voraks are angry that you have won so many fights. They are losing money on bets. She stopped, as if afraid to continue. Tell me, Tai-Ho said softly. They have moved my brother to the mining section as punishment. It is very dangerous there. Many workers die from accidents. Tai-Ho's face didn't change, but something in his eyes did. A cold fire seemed to light behind them. When does the fight begin? He asked, his voice suddenly calm in a way that made Jinnah step back. 1 hour, she said. Tai-Ho nodded. Good. I am ready. The arena was packed with more aliens than Tai-Ho had ever seen. They filled every seat, and the noise was like thunder. On large screens hanging from the ceiling, Tai-Ho could see his own face next to the face of Dox. Under his picture were the words Human Blade, and under Dox's picture was Undefeated Champion. They are calling this the impossible match, Jinnah said, as she helped Tai-Ho prepare in the room under the arena. No one has ever bet on a human to beat a Krivet champion. Tai-Ho said nothing as he put on his armor. It was better armor than before, covering more of his body, but still left parts exposed for speed and movement. Did you see your brother? Tai-Ho finally asked. Jinnah shook her head. They won't let me. But I heard he was hurt yesterday in a mining accident. Her voice broke a little. His arm was crushed under a falling rock. Tai-Ho's hands stopped moving for a moment. Then he continued putting on his armor. I understand now, he said quietly. Understand what? Why I must win today. Not just fight well. Win. A loud horn sounded. It was time. Be careful, Jinnah whispered. Dox will try to end the fight quickly to show his power. Tai-Ho nodded and walked toward the arena entrance. Before stepping through, he turned back to Jinnah. No matter what happens, remember that humans are more than what they seem. The crowd roared when Tai-Ho entered the arena, but when Dox appeared from the other side, the noise became deafening. The Krivet champion was even larger in person than in the videos. His gray skin looked like stone, and his claws gleamed under the bright lights. Dox walked to the center of the arena and raised his arms. The crowd chanted his name. Then he pointed at Taiho and made a cutting motion across his throat. The message was clear. The announcer's voice boomed. Today Mui AVA Special Meiji. The human blade faces the UNDFEATEDCHAMPIONDOX. Will the humans winning story AKEND today? Place your final VTSS now. Taiho and Dox moved to the center of the arena. They stood 10 feet apart, waiting for the signal to begin. You will die today, human, Dox said, his voice like rocks grinding together. Your kind does not belong in the arena with real warriors. Taiho did not respond. In his mind, he pictured Jinna's brother, hurt and alone in the dangerous mines, paying the price for Taiho's success. The horn sounded. The fight began. Dox moved with shocking speed for his size. He was on Taiho in an instant, claws slashing through the air. Taiho dodged the first strike, but the second caught him across the chest, cutting through his armor. Pain flared where the claws touched him. The poison was strong. Taiho jumped back, but Dox pressed forward, giving him no time to recover. A powerful blow caught Taiho in the side, sending him flying across the arena. He hit the ground hard and felt something crack in his chest. A broken rib, maybe two. The crowd cheered as Dox stalked toward him. Taiho tried to stand, but the Krivet kicked him down again. This time, Taiho tasted blood in his mouth. See, Dox called to the crowd. This is what happens when weak creatures try to act like warriors. Taiho lay on his back, blood running from his mouth, pain shooting through his body. The poison from Dox's claws made his skin burn. He could hear the crowd laughing, enjoying his defeat. Then, in his mind, he saw Jinna's face when she told him about her brother. He thought of all the humans on this ship, treated like playthings by the aliens. Something changed inside Taiho. Military trainers had a name for it. The Red State. It was a place beyond fear, beyond pain. A place where nothing mattered except survival and victory. Dox reached down to grab Taiho by the throat for the killing blow. What happened next silenced the entire arena. As Dox's hand closed around Taiho's throat, something changed. Taiho's eyes, which had been clear and focused, now burned with an intensity that made even the battle-hardened Krivet pause. In one fluid motion that seemed impossible for someone so injured, Taiho grabbed Dox's wrist and twisted it with such force that even the champion's tough skin couldn't prevent the pain. Dox roared and tried to pull away, but Taiho held on, his grip like iron. The arena went silent. No one had ever seen anyone hold on to Dox when he wanted to break free. Taiho rolled to his feet, blood still dripping from his wounds, but something was different now. He moved as if he couldn't feel pain. His broken ribs, the poison in his system, the cuts and bruises, none of it seemed to matter anymore. What is this? Dox growled, pulling his arm free at last. Why don't you fall? Taiho didn't answer. His breathing had changed. It was deep and steady, like a machine. His eyes never blinked as he watched Dox, looking for openings. Dox attacked again, this time with full force. His claws slashed at Taiho's face, but the human ducked under the blow. Before Dox could recover, Taiho drove his fist into the back of the Krivet's left knee, the weak spot he had noticed in the videos. Dox howled and stumbled. No opponent had ever found that weakness before. The crowd was completely silent now, watching in shock as the human fighter transformed before their eyes. Gone was the careful, precise fighter who had won his earlier matches with skill and planning. This Taiho fought with raw, unstoppable power. When Dox tried to use his poisonous claws again, Taiho didn't dodge. Instead, he let the claws cut into his arm, so he could get close enough to deliver a powerful blow to Dox's throat. The pain seemed to mean nothing to him now. "What are you?" Dox gasped, backing away for the first time in years of fighting. The aliens in the crowd began to whisper to each other. This was not normal. No fighter could take so much damage and keep attacking. The poison alone should have left the human weak and confused. Jinnah watched from the side of the arena, her hands over her mouth. She had seen many fights, but never anything like this. It was like Taeho had become someone, or something, else. Dox gathered himself and charged at Taeho with all his strength. It was a move that had killed many opponents before. His massive body slammed into the human, driving him back against the arena wall. One of Dox's claws sank deep into Taeho's side. Any normal fighter would have been finished, but Taeho didn't fall. With the claw still in his side, he grabbed Dox's arm with both hands and broke it at the elbow. The sound of the breaking bone echoed through the silent arena. Dox screamed in pain and fury. He tried to back away, but Taeho followed, his movements mechanical and relentless. Each time Dox struck, Taeho took the hit to get closer, to strike at another weak point. Blood covered both fighters now, green blood from Dox, red blood from Taeho. But while Dox was slowing down, showing signs of pain and confusion, Taeho kept coming, his pace never changing. Finally, Taeho saw his chance. As Dox tried to protect his damaged arm, Taeho slipped behind him and struck the base of the Krivet's skull with the edge of his hand, exactly where the armor plates of his skin were thinnest. Dox's eyes rolled back, and the massive champion fell to his knees, then to the ground, unconscious but alive. Taeho stood over him, chest heaving, covered in blood and poison. His eyes still burned with that strange fire. No one in the arena moved or spoke. They had just witnessed the impossible. After a long silence, the announcer's shaking voice came over the speakers. The winner is the human blade. When Taeho woke up, he was in a room he had never seen before. The walls were a soft purple color, and the bed was large and comfortable. His body was covered in healing patches, and the pain was dull instead of sharp. "You're awake," said Jinnah's voice. She sat in a chair next to his bed. "You've been asleep for 2 days." Taeho tried to sit up but winced as pain shot through his side. 2 days. Jinnah nodded. "The doctors weren't sure you would live. Dox's poison should have killed you." She looked at him with wonder and a little fear. "How did you keep fighting?" Taeho closed his eyes, trying to remember. The fight was a blur after a certain point. "In my military unit, we called it the Red State. It's rare, but sometimes when a soldier is in extreme danger, the body can shut down pain. It's like an old survival system from when humans were primitive. The Vorax scientists have been studying recordings of your fight," Jinnah said. "They've never seen anything like it." Taeho looked around the room. "Where am I?" "This is a purple-level recovery room. You've been promoted 2 full ranks." Jinnah smiled a little. No one has ever gone from blue to purple in one fight before. A door slid open, and San walked in. The blue alien looked different, more respectful, less smug. "My fighter lives," San said. "You cost me a lot of money by winning, but you made me even more with your new value." He handed Taeho a small metal card. "Your share of the winnings. It's enough to buy almost anything on this ship." After San left, Taeho asked Jinnah, "Your brother?" "He's been moved to the medical ward and then to a safe job in the food preparation area." Jinnah's eyes were wet. "Thank you." "Good." Taeho slowly sat up, fighting through the pain. "What else has happened while I was asleep?" "Everything has changed," Jinnah said. She touched a screen on the wall, and it showed different parts of the ship. "The other humans on board have been given better jobs and quarters. The aliens are treating us differently now." On the screen, Taeho could see humans walking more freely. Aliens moved out of their way instead of pushing them aside. "They're afraid of us," Taiho said. Jinnah nodded. They don't understand what they saw in the arena. Some are saying humans have demon spirits that can take over their bodies in battle. Taiho almost smiled at this. And what do the Vorax think? The ship leaders have been meeting for 2 days. I heard they're trying to decide if humans are more valuable than they thought, or too dangerous to keep. Taiho stood up carefully, testing his strength. He was weak but could move. I need to see the other humans on the ship. Why? Because now is the time to talk to them, while the aliens are confused and unsure. Over the next few days, as Taiho healed, he used his new status to move freely around the ship. Guards who once would have stopped him now stepped aside. His purple rank gave him access to many areas. He met with other humans in small groups. Some had been on the ship for years. Others were new like him. He listened to their stories and told them his own. We are not alone here, he told them. And we are stronger than they know. One night, Jinnah brought her brother Junho to meet Taiho. The young man's arm was in a healing sleeve, but he could use it a little. You saved me, Junho said. They were going to leave me in the mines to die. No human gets left behind, Taiho said. That's how we survive. Later, when they were alone, Jinnah told Taiho more news. We reach Vox Prime in 3 weeks. The central arena there is 10 times bigger than the one on this ship. And the security, the defenses, much stronger, she said. Why do you ask these things? Taiho looked out the window of his new quarters. Stars streaked by as the ship moved through space. Because we won't be slaves forever, he said quietly. What they saw in the arena was just the beginning of what humans can do when pushed too far. The day the ship reached Vox Prime, Taiho stood at a large window, watching as they approached the planet. It was huge, with rings like Saturn, and covered mostly in red and orange colors. Built on its surface was the largest structure Taiho had ever seen. The grand arena, visible even from space. It's time, Jinnah said, joining him at the window. The transfer ships will take fighters down in 1 hour. Taiho nodded. In the 3 weeks since his fight with Dox, he had been busy. His purple rank gave him access to many parts of the ship. He had used this freedom well. Are the others ready? He asked quietly. Yes, 23 humans in total, plus 17 aliens who have joined us. Jinnah looked nervous but determined. My brother has the codes you wanted. Good. Taiho turned from the window. And the information about Earth. Jinnah's face darkened. It's true. The Vorax have a small base on Mars. They'd been taking humans for years, a few at a time so no one would notice. Taiho had suspected as much. How many more ships like this one? 5. And they plan to take more humans soon. Thousands, not just a few. This was why they couldn't just escape. They had to stop the Vorax completely. Sand came hurrying down the corridor toward them. The blue alien looked excited. There you are. The Grand Master of the Vox Arena wants to meet you before the landing. Sand's long fingers moved quickly as he spoke. This is a great honor. No fighter has ever met the Grand Master before fighting. Why does he want to meet me? Taiho asked. Your fight with Dox has been viewed across half the galaxy. Everyone is talking about humans now. Sand leaned closer. Some military leaders have even contacted the Vorax about humans as potential soldiers. This was exactly what Taiho had feared. When is this meeting? Now. He waits in the command center. Taiho looked at Jinnah. A silent message passed between them. This changed their plans, but it also created a new opportunity. I'll go, Taiho said. Jinnah, make sure everything is ready for when we land. The command center was at the top of the ship. Taiho had never been allowed there before. 2 large Vorax guards led him through doors that opened one after another, each with stronger security than the last. Finally, they entered a large room filled with screens and control panels. Vorax officers moved about, preparing for landing. At the center stood a tall, thin alien unlike any Tahoe had seen before. It had pale white skin and 3 pairs of arms. "The human arrives," the tall alien said. Its voice was soft but carried across the room. "I am Grand Master Vel of Vox Prime." Tahoe bowed slightly. "I am honored. Your victory over Dox has created quite a stir," Vel said. "Some see it as a problem. Others see opportunity." The Grandmaster studied Tahoe with 6 blinking eyes. "What do humans want, fighter? If you could have anything." "Freedom," Tahoe said simply. Vel laughed. "All slaves say this. But freedom to do what? To live in peace, to conquer, to create? What drives humans?" Tahoe thought carefully before answering. "We want to choose our own path. Some want peace, some want power, but all want the right to decide for themselves." The Grandmaster moved closer. "Interesting. The Vorax Council is divided on what to do with humans. Some want to use your fighting abilities in our armies. Others think you are too dangerous and should be wiped out before you spread further into the galaxy." "And what do you think?" Tahoe asked. Vel's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. "I think." An alarm suddenly blared throughout the ship. Red lights flashed on every screen. "What is happening?" Vel demanded. A Vorax officer called out, "System failures across the ship. Security doors are opening. Fighters are escaping their cells." Tahoe smiled slightly. Jinnah's brother had done his part. "What have you done?" Vel hissed, backing away from Tahoe. "Show me what humans do best," Tahoe said. "We adapt. We plan. And when pushed too far, we fight back." As chaos spread throughout the ship, Tahoe looked out at the stars. The revolution had begun. The aliens who had laughed at humans would soon learn that unstoppable rage was just one of humanity's weapons. And it wasn't even their most dangerous one. ****, the end ****.